What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, MLB DFS video. It is Tuesday. It is April 29th. We are back with a full slate. We're going to cover it all. So if you're new to the channel, we go through every game today that we have on both slates. Got an early slate and a main slate. And we look at the pitchers. We look at the batters against those pitchers, historical matchups, batter splits. We look at it all. So if we look at some of the players we like for those stacks, I'm going to start right off the bat right now. It is normally Top 5 Tuesday, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. I think we're going to do this normally this way, and then Mondays, we're going to do Top 5 Mondays starting next week, because generally Mondays are there's less games. Tuesdays normally a full slate unless we've got weather concern, and Thursdays are kind of the same way. So maybe Mondays and Thursdays are top 5 days where we just go each position, top 5 at each position. And then the rest of the days are a full breakdown. So we like to differentiate ourselves away from the pack. So if you are looking for a little bit more, we do have it on the website under the MLB tab. Check all of that out. $10 for the week gets you every single sport for FTA+. But starting May 1st, it's going to go up to $15 a week. Monthly pass right now is $29.99. It'll be $34.99 come May 1st. So if you guys are interested in getting in the lower price right now, you have until May 1st to get in there. It will be a recurring subscription, but as long as you keep that active, you'll be grandfathered in or grandmothered in, if that's a saying, with the old price. So I wanted to bring that to you. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. I would love to know down below how you guys found the channel. YouTube algorithm suggested us. It was on the up next. Someone shared it. I would love to know. I love hearing these new stories. We do try to have giveaways every single day. 2 ways to win every day we have MLB video. First way, like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment on this video. You do all of that, and this video gets at least 50 likes, you will have a shot at a free week of FTA+. So that is a week of all sports. All sports that are in right now that we do are in red up here, except for NASCAR, or except for NFL. All the rest of them, pretty much weekly unless they have a week off. If this video gets at least 100 likes, you'll have a shot at a free month, 150 likes, a free year, 200 or more likes on this video, a chance at a lifetime pass. Second way to win. Somewhere in this video, there'll be a keyword or a key phrase. Listen for it and type it in and have a second shot at a free week. So we are going to see who the 2 winners of yesterday's videos are, because in that video, we had at least 50 likes, so that triggers the first one. And then the second one for anyone who had the keyword. So wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. Even if the winner of this first one has the keyword or key phrase, we are still going to re-roll it a second time. So the winner of the first one is Cujo Blue. Congratulations. It's been a while since you've won. And I'll let you guys know right now, if you continue to come back every single day, you don't spam the comments, but you leave comments, you engage with the community, you could win multiple different times. We've already had someone win like 4 times in the past 2 weeks. Now, it's all luck, but it's consistency. Consistency is key when you come in here. So Cujo, you know what to do. The email is down below, but always email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. Let me know your username on the website, and we will get you set up for your free pass. And the key phrase was tired, or some sort of the word tired. So we're still going to re-roll it, so you still have a shot to win yet again. And the winner of the keyword is Michael Johnson. Had you had the keyword in that one, you would have won. That is why I'll tell you, don't spam comments, but if you do make multiple different comments, or like if you do make a comment, make sure you always have that keyword in there for this exact reason. So the winner of the keyword is, there you go, Ivan. You just won like early last week. So congratulations. Please email me so I know you saw that you're the winner. Yet again, you have added a week onto your subscription on the website. Congratulations to both of you. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover exactly. We've got all this information. We've got 10,000 sims done. We do 20,000 simulations a day. We cover games. We look at the games. We go through the games after 10,000 simulations. So this is your first look for MLB. About an hour or 2 before the first pitch of the main slate, we usually upload our 20,000th simulation. And then that is all the updated projection simulations, cheat sheet, everything is updated on the website. So any questions, please hit us up in our free Discord, which you can find down below. Also, you can all email me. Be a little bit easier than maybe in the comment section here. But that being said, Minnesota at Cleveland is early. It is not part of the main or the early slate here. So we do have a couple of weather concerns in this early slate. And then we do have, unfortunately, not all the pitchers are 100% confirmed, but they are projected out there. So when you watch this video, it could change a little bit. It could be a different pitcher, but we'll still have that covered. So even if it's changed from what this video does, we will have it covered on the website in projection simulations and all of that. So we're going with it, and I kind of mainly mean that by Kyle Gibson, who shows his day-to-day, but all indications are he's going to get called. He may be called up by the time you watch this video. He's going to get called up, and he's pitching against the Yankees. So a 4-game early slate here on DraftKings. 2 of them do have weather concerns, but we are going to rock and roll, and we are going to go through everything. So we're going to use Outlier, and what I love about Outlier is because you want to look at BVP history, you want to look at batter splits, you want to look at the matchups, you want to look at all of that, and you don't want to go to 15 different websites. Well, they've kind of combined it into one. So if you want to check it out, we're going to show it on the screen, but if you want to check out even more and look at some of the prop bets that you can look at, the link to sign up will be down below. I believe they're going to give you a 7-day free trial, and that helps out the channel as well. So if you don't want to purchase FTA Plus, but you want to help out the channel, liking this video, watching the entire video a couple of times a day, and commenting on the videos and sharing them all help the algorithm. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the Yankees at the Orioles. We're going to jump in. We're going to look at it exactly as it is. You've got in here Carlos Rodon versus Kyle Gibson. Rodon coming in does have a 3.50 ERA, but it's very serviceable. He's coming off back-to-back really good starts, one against a great hitting Cleveland team, one against a Tampa Bay team that's kind of, so-so up in the air. And then he does, it's been a couple of starts since he's given up an earned run. Baltimore's offense has been the exact opposite. It's not been ideal. They've put up some runs in some games, but, they've given up a ton of runs as well. Their scoring differential is, might be not what we expected. We'll put it that way. So we look at Rodon. Overall, pretty decent. 3 wins or 3 starts at home, 3 on the road. We're still not really going to use home and away splits until basically 10 to 15 starts into the season because it's kind of hard, just difficult to say. But then you got Kyle Gibson. Now, I guess I did forget to mention, after we go through all of these games, we are going to give you all the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 simulations. Then we're going to give you the pitches be crazy, which is we go through the top 5 pitchers on the slate that have the best 5 matchups against teams that strike out the most so far this year. Now, Kyle Gibson is on this list. I don't trust him enough. He's coming up from single A. He didn't sign with Baltimore until after spring training ended. It could be a mess. The Yankees do strike out. But Kyle Gibson, he's still 7,000, which is wild to me. I can't believe they didn't price him down a little bit. In this one here, I'm most likely looking at not Kyle Gibson. I would definitely be looking at Carlos Rodon. If we look, so it's not here, but I pulled up the BVP on ESPN. Cody Bellinger is 2 for 15 against Kyle Gibson, but those 2 hits were home run. And then Jazz has a home run as well, 5 for 14 with a double, triple, and a home run. He's hit for the cycle against Kyle Gibson. He's batting 357. I would look at him. I would look at Judge, who's been on fire. Honestly, the Yankees as a stack here, I don't mind. Maybe two plus different stacks of them, and we talked about this in the past. I love Aaron Judge in this one. I love Cody Bellinger. He's been a little bit down, but he has had success. I would look at Jason Dominguez, Paul Goldschmidt, Ben Rice. Those are your 5, but then I also like a little bit of Trent Grisham. You want a cheap outfield option or third base option, Oswaldo Cabrera. So you can't fit all of them in one. So that's kind of why I'm looking at a different combination of Yankees pitchers or Yankees batters or stacks, however you want to call it, against Kyle Gibson. So the bats against Rodon, he does give up some home runs. We know that. We've seen that. Mateo has a home run against him. Mountcastle has a home run against him. And Gunnar Henderson has a home run against him. But overall, as a team, they have not been hitting lefties as well as they've hit righties this year. The only ones that have hit well have been Cedric Mullins, 364 batting average, Ramon Urias, 429 batting average. That's basically it. You've got those 2 guys that make sense. Obviously, it's just a little bit different. We don't know which Rodon we're going to get, but his past 2 starts have been really good. And I'll let you know right now, I'm not always going to be right. My gut tells me Rodon and the Yankees stack is what I'm going to go with in this game. The next game, we got St. Louis at Cincy. So the problem is the weather's a concern, but the ballpark is Great American Small Park. The ball absolutely flies out of here. We want to take some exposure to that throughout the day. That's just kind of what we're looking at here. And if I were to go in that direction, Brady Singer has been really good. I'm actually very surprised, and I'll say this multiple times. This ballpark scares me, okay? Because it is small. But him pitching at home, he's got 3 starts under his belt at home. And I know I said that I didn't want to bring that up, but it's been pretty decent. 276 batting average. Not the worst matchup he's had here. St. Louis team, they're not bad. But yeah, it just depends. He does give up earned runs in almost every game but the first start. But the strikeouts are there as well. 8-6, 3-7-8. Like, they've been decent. We look at the Cardinals. While they don't strike out the most out of any team, Brady Singer's only faced two at-bats against them. So, I mean, that gives me the bump up there. I would use Singer. I would not use Miles Michaelis here. I don't trust him. I would rather look at the bats. Overall, I think Cincy bats make the most sense, especially at home here. Austin Hayes has been absolutely on fire. Against Michaelis here, you've got Gavin Lux has a home run. Friedel has a home run, and Spencer Steer does. But if I'm looking at this, I'm looking at Noelvi Marte. I'm looking at Austin Hayes. I'm looking at Gavin Lux. I'm looking at Ellie De La Cruz. So there's 4 right there. And then if you want to, DraftKings, you do 5 as a stack. You could go with a TJ Friedel. You could go with an Austin Wynns or Jose Trevino, depending on which guy is catching. I do not mind that at all. So I am fading Michaelis. I am looking at Cincy, and I'll look at Brady Singer just a little bit as well. The weather, though, that's definitely one we need to monitor. If we look at what the ballpark factors are showing in this ballpark, the wind is blowing out. It does have a 50% chance to see a bump in home runs. With the wind blowing out, if the rain stays away, it could be definitely an offensive showing. And if the hotter it gets in this ballpark, the ball, I mean, it's got a very small outfield. It's got a huge wall, I believe, in left to left center to stop the ball a little bit. But again, when you look at that, sometimes it doesn't even matter in this ballpark. And that's exactly what I'm thinking it's going to do. The only thing, let's kind of monitor what the rain does and go from there. So Chicago at Pittsburgh is the next game here. It's not 100% confirmed these are your 2 pitchers, but they did last pitch a week ago, Amanaga, last Tuesday. Not his best start there, kind of up and down. And what I'll tell everybody is when you look at this, value-wise for pitching on at least DraftKings, you want to look to 2 to 2.5 times value. So he's 8,500, so you want to take 8,500 times 2 or 8,500 times 2.5. So basically a minimum of 17 to basically your floor is 17.5 fantasy points is what you're looking for. Didn't have it against the Dodgers. Gave up 5 runs, only 2 of them earned, with 3 home runs. How is a home run not an earned run? How is a home run not an earned run? What am I missing? Am I having a brain fart? What am I missing? You give up a home run, that's an earned run, is it not? I could be wrong. Usually not, but I could be. But he comes in at 2.38 ERA. He has a great matchup here against Pittsburgh. He has not faced Pittsburgh this year. So we'll kind of look at that. And then you got Andrew Heaney. I don't know how he's doing what he's doing. He's got a 1.72 ERA, coming off a really good start against his former team in the Angels. We took him in that game, 9 strikeouts. He's had 10 strikeouts in a game. He's had 9 strikeouts in a game. He now gets to go up against a Chicago team. Chicago, their offense is really good. So he's either going to be able to hold them down or he's going to give up some runs. So that really just depends on a lot of factors here. Rain being a concern here. Looking at the wind in this ballpark, it's blowing out. So the wind is blowing out. We should be in it. If the rain holds off, I would honestly look at Amanaga, and I would look at, I could see this being a low scoring game. But if I were to take bats, it would be Cub. Pete Crow Armstrong, Ian Happ, depending on who's out there. You've got Suzuki you could look at. Dansby. Like, let's wait to see the lineup that comes out. But I would definitely look at the Cubs bats here. I just think they get to Andrew Haney. I think his ERA goes up past 2. Just the way I would love this game offensively wise, if it were in fact in Chicago. But let's kind of wait to see. The wind as of now is blowing out. And then you got Washington at Philly is the next game. You've got Zach Wheeler versus Mackenzie Gore. Mackenzie Gore comes in 172 plate appearances total against the Phillies in his career, 28.5 K percentage, 272 batting average. And then Zach Wheeler on the flip side, 182 plate appearances. Obviously, these guys have seen these teams a lot. 26.9 K percentage, only 4.4 walk percentage, and a 243 batting average against Washington. So let's dig in a little bit further to these numbers. Mackenzie Gore is cheaper. He had 2 good starts in a row. He had a good start against the Dodgers we were not expecting. He is now 8,300. He did have a bad start against Toronto. But remember, his first game against Philly was the opening day, 13 strikeouts. I think people are going to chase that a little bit. But Philly's, like, they're struggling a little bit. They're not the offensive powerhouse that we may thought they were going to be when the season started. But if you look at their average age, I think it's like 34. They are up there. I mean, I know it's real middle age, but baseball terms, they're up there. Mackenzie Gore has had success. Now, Philly's a really good hitting team. They just have not done. Mackenzie Gore's in a great spot. You're going to save 10,000. Let's put it that way. And then I'm wondering if Zach Wheeler, how he did against them to start the season. In that same game, he went 6 innings, 1 earned run, 8K. So both of these pitchers had really good starts. This could be a low-scoring game. I like both of them. I think Mackenzie Gore, I think they're both tournament option because these offenses have looked good. I'm not really, through 10,000 simulations, I'm not really looking at the bats in this one. I'm just looking purely at the pitching, and I think that's where we should go in this one. But right there, that's the early slate done. 2 of the games do have some weather concerns. The wind is blowing out in some of them. So in conclusion, if I were to look here at the pitching, I don't see myself taking Michaelis at all. I don't see myself taking Gibson. I don't see myself taking Haney. Other than that, I like every other pitcher up top. I would go in that direction. So then we get to the main slate. We look at the 10-game main slate starting with Kansas City at Tampa Bay Rays. Again, remember, this is not Tropicana Field. This is a hitter's ballpark. This is the Yankees spring training complex. The ball has absolutely been flying out of this ballpark during these games. But the wind is, as of right now, the wind is blowing in. But don't forget, this ballpark, I want to see how many home runs it's given up. Give me a second. We do have park factors, so you can definitely look at that. Trying to see if it's even on here. They don't have StatCast for the Athletics since they play in a minor league field, and they don't have stats for. Or wait a minute, they might. They don't. Unfortunate. The balls take my word for it. The ball absolutely flies out of this ballpark. Taj Bradley versus Michael Lorenzen. We stacked against both of these guys the last start. Lorenzen, 15 plate appearances, .091 against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's offense has been pretty bad, but that's basically one start. Taj Bradley, 19 plate appearances, 36.8 K percentage against Kansas City, 0% start or 0% batting average. Again, one total start against them. Taj Bradley comes in 5 ERA. He's had 2 bad starts. We've stacked against him in both of those. He's had 2 bad starts in a row. A medium start, and then like 2 really good starts. Kansas City, their offense is not as good as it last year, but they are better than Tampa Bay's offense. And then Lorenzen, we stacked against Lorenzen. It did not work out. Colorado, or did we take him against Colorado? We did take him against Colorado because Colorado strikes out the most. We either took him in DFS or he was pitches be crazy. I cannot remember. But he had 7 strikeouts in that game. He had 4 walks and 1 earned run, 24.1. Had he not had those walks, we're looking at 30-plus fantasy points out of him. He is cheap. Tampa Bay's offense is ish. I would use Lorenzen for tournaments, but that is it. I do not trust him in cash. I would rather go in that direction. If I were to look at bats on this, I think most likely I am leaning more towards Kansas City bats than Tampa Bay. Kansas City against him's never hit, they didn't do anything. They haven't done anything against him. And you can see, like, overall, they haven't, like, Bobby Witt Jr. batting 298. But overall, like, the starters they do hit righties better. I would definitely look at Salvador Perez if he plays. I would look at Mark Canha. I don't know if he's going to get in there, though, but if he starts, I don't mind him. Bobby Witt Jr. obviously makes sense. Drew Waters would be a very cheap outfield option for you. Maybe Kyle Isbell batting 250. Probably it. And I'm not really looking at Tampa Bay bats against Lorenzen. But if I were, and you want to fade it, like Simpson batting 435 and 23 at-bats. Misner batting 339. You could look at very cheap options. Jonathan Aranda batting 338 wouldn't be a bad option there. Brandon Lau and Yandy Diaz if we want to round out those 5 batters to make a stack there. But looking at that, I think Lorenzen for tournaments is the only pitcher I'd go in that situation. Then we have Boston at Toronto is next. You got Garrett Crochet versus, it has not been confirmed that's Bowden Francis, but it is his turn in the rotation. So we are going to go with that assumption. Now, Crochet against Toronto, 38 plate appearances, 176. He's a really good pitcher. We know that. He's got a 195 ERA. The strikeouts are there. They've been up there. Boston or Toronto, they aren't in the top 5. And Crochet did give up 4 earned runs in that game. We used him against Seattle. He gave up the only earned runs in the game, went 5 innings, had 5 walks. His stuff was off. Now, Toronto's offense kind of been lackluster. He's already faced them once this year. Gave up 4 runs. Only one of them earned, but only had 4 strikeouts in that one as well. So that's where I'm kind of iffy. I don't know if I want to pay $10,500 for him. I feel like I love Garrett Crochet in good matchups. Oh, I don't think I can pay $10,500. Let's put it that way. Flip side of that, Bowden Francis here comes in 4.23 ERA. He faced Boston. He has not faced Boston this year. And we look at this against Houston, 3.1. He went 4.2 innings, 2 Ks, 1 walk. Didn't really do anything. Strikeouts are usually right around 4 to 5. He's had a really good start and a couple of low ones. The thing is, Boston strikes out the 4th most out of any team. So if you don't trust him in DFS purposes, maybe look at like whatever his strikeout line is and kind of take that as well, because we could definitely be looking at that if you don't trust him in your DFS lineups, because we have a ton of pitchers to look at today that maybe we trust them a little bit more. So while I think a lot of people are going to be on Crochet, we could look at Toronto bats against him. George Springer does have a home run. This year, he's batting 333 against left-handed pitching. Miles Straw, 17 at-bats, batting 412. Bo Bichette batting 316. Ernie Clement batting 421. Heineman batting 692. Kirk batting 353. They are hitting lefties well. Now, we know Garrett Crochet has been nothing but spectacular to start the season. He's got a low ERA. You want to go against the grain and have the ownership percentage on your side, maybe look at Toronto stacking against them. Now, they didn't put up much of a fight against the Yankees overall on the weekend, especially on Sunday. They got just the doubleheader did not work out for them. So we look at that. I think Crochet is okay, but I think Toronto as a stack is pretty good. Bowden Francis against them, they really haven't done anything against him. Like if you were to stack against them, maybe Alex Bregman, who's batting 330 with 5 bombs, you could look at him. Gonzalez batting 286, maybe. Trevor Story batting 231 with 3 home runs. Willie Abreu batting 291 with 5 bombs. Christian Campbell batting 321 with 3 bombs. Like, they are hitting righties well. They are striking out quite a bit too. So maybe you don't trust Francis in DFS. Maybe you want to stack against him. But I think he could give up runs. But I think he could, if he goes at least 5 innings, I think we could get 6+ strikeouts out of him. And I am really okay with that as well. I just don't trust either pitcher in DFS today. Bowden Francis scares me a little bit. Garrett Crochet is very expensive and has not had success against them this year. Arizona at the New York Mets is the next one. We got Eduardo Rodriguez versus David Peterson, battle of the lefties. But remember, this is in Citi Field, which is a massive pitcher's ballpark because the outfield is massive. If we look at the wind is blowing directly out, but if we look at Citi Field, got deep corners and shallow gaps. It's one of the worst venues of all 30 ballparks for batters to consistently hit home runs. Now, we're going to see home runs. I get that. But this is a pitcher's ballpark. So you got Erod coming in, 8,600, going up against the Mets. Game log-wise, not a really good start against Tampa Bay. Gave up 4 earned runs there. But the 4.40 ERA, you do have that. A great start against Miami. You're supposed to have one against Miami. A great start against Washington. Their offense, 4 earned runs, but had 12 strikeouts. So he's had good numbers. In some games, I don't know if I trust that enough. That is my problem. His ERA is up there. His price is up there. I'm probably off of him. Then you got David Peterson. 3.29 ERA. Not a good start against Philly. Not a good start against Toronto. Really bad starts there. And we look at that. And overall, again, this is a pitcher's ballpark. We could look at that a little bit, but then we dig into the numbers a little bit. And by that, I mean, let's look at how both of these teams have hit against left-handed pitching. Because now they're both facing lefties. So we look at that. David Peterson against Arizona, like Grichuk has a home run. We usually like to take Grichuk against lefties. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., kind of the same thing. We like to take him against lefties. Pavin Smith is, these are all against him. Against left-handed pitching this year. Grichuk batting 241, but he'll be a cheap option if he gets in there. Eugenio Suarez is obviously one who had, 4 home runs the other night. But he's batting 133 against lefties, which, again, just doesn't make sense to me, but here we are. Overall, Perdomo batting 355, he's had decent numbers there. They haven't really hit. So tournament-wise, I think people will be on Arizona. David Peterson, I don't mind him whatsoever. The Mets bats against Erod, no one's hit a home run against him. Against left-handed pitching, Juan Soto's batting 429, but has no home runs against lefties. Luis Torrens batting 357. Francisco Alvarez would be a cheap catching option. I think he'll start. Pete Alonso batting 350 this year with a home run against lefties. I would look at him. I would look at Lindor being a switch hitter. Like I said, I do not mind a Mets stack whatsoever. Milwaukee at Chicago White Sox is next. Freddie Peralta versus Bryce Wilson. Look at Freddie Peralta. That's 100%. And then I would look at, let's not overthink it. I'm looking at Freddie Peralta, and then I am looking at a stack of Milwaukee. Churio, Terang, Christian Yelich. Cheap option would be Jake Bauers, or a cheaper option if you want to fade a little bit. You could look at Jake Bauers or Rhys Hoskins, depending on who's going to start there. And then a little bit further down, that's probably it. I didn't even know. When did Garrett Mitchell go on the IL? Oh, Saturday. Okay, of course he did. Is Capra still up, or he got sent down? He's still up, but he hasn't done anything. Yeah, the lowest I would probably go, Caleb Durbin could be a sneaky option there as well. He's 3,100. But I am 100% on Freddie Peralta. I am looking at Milwaukee as a stack. We don't really need to overthink that whatsoever. Don't overthink it, guys. That's what I'll tell you. Do not overthink it whatsoever. Yeah, don't overthink it. Next game, Athletics at the Arlington, I'll say. Texas Rangers. So you got Jacob deGrom versus Joey Estes coming into this game. Kind of looking at this. It is not confirmed that it's Joey Estes yet, but I want to see. They optioned him down, but they think he's going to get called up. So we can't confirm this. He's had 2 very bad starts, and if it is in fact him, I'm all over Texas as a stack. 100%. So that's what I would look at in that one. I would look at Texas bats for sure if it is Joey Estes. So Texas bats that I would look at against him, being a lefty, I would look at Higashioka if he gets in there, or Jonah Heim, depending on which catcher it is. Wyatt Langford this year's batting 344. I would be all over Wyatt Langford. Kevin Pillar would be a cheap option that you could look at. You could look at, depending, Tavares, be a cheap option. Jace Young as well is another one. Adolis Garcia, I would definitely look at. So let's kind of make sure that it is in fact Joey Estes, and then I'm all over that. And then Jacob deGrom, his price is 8,800. Got a 3.33 ERA. Pretty decent. They just faced this team last week. It's 5.1 innings, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, but he only got 16.4. So that's not enough because he gave up the 2 earned runs. Again, we're looking at 8,800. They've dropped him $200, which is not enough in my mind. So that's kind of where I'm looking at. Let's kind of fade away from Jacob deGrom. Now, he could have a good game. I don't trust this, though, because his price is too high for him. Athletic bats against him who've had success, like Shea Langeliers has a home run, Luis Urias has a home run, Seth Brown has a home run. And against righties, they are hitting okay. Nick Kurtz batting 308, again, is 13 at-bats, so not a ton. You got Soderstrom batting 308 with 8 bombs. You've got Jacob Wilson batting 322 with 3 bombs. You got Brent Rooker batting 230 with 5 bombs, Lawrence Butler. This just kind of feels like I think a lot of people are going to be on Jacob deGrom. I'm going to fade Jacob deGrom. I'm just going to go both offenses on this one. I obviously love Texas bats if it is Joey Estes. I love that matchup more, but I'll have exposure to both sides. Detroit at Houston is next. You got Reese Olson versus Ryan Gusto. So coming into Ryan Gusto here, has never faced Detroit before. Detroit's offense is pretty good. They're leading the Central. It's exactly kind of what we thought. They start off last year, kind of like they had some good games. Playoffs. Now we're here. Neither team is really, pitchers really face the other one. Houston, like if you were to flip-flop, you would think previous years Houston would be a better offense than Detroit. But in this case, like Reese Olson against San Diego, they hit righties well. He got 32.7. I think Reese Olson makes a ton of sense. He is only 7,700. He should be under-owned today against this Houston team that I kind of want to take exposure to him. Then Ryan Gusto comes in. He's 7,200, so he's only 500 cheaper. He's been decent too, like a good start against Toronto, 5.2 innings. The problem is depth, deep, how far is he going to go into this game? He had 6 strikeouts against Toronto. He had 6 against the Angels. Detroit overall, they strike out. Where are they at? They do strike out. They're ranked 24th out of 30th. They strike out 8.96 times per game. So I think both of these pitchers could be sneaky options for pitching. As of the moment, through 10,000 simulations, I'm not looking at these as a stack or offense. So that is what I tell you. Like, this is a good first start. This is not the only stuff we have on the website. You can go check out our cheat sheet. We've got usually 6 to 7 plays for cash in tournaments when there's, a ton of games on the main slate. We also have we have 10 up to 10 stacks. The pitcher they're going against, the stack ownership percentage, and the players we like in that one. So after 10,000 more simulations, when I get to 20, maybe we look at the offenses. But as of right now, both of the pitchers are tournament pitchers for me. Then we've got the old Coors game. You got Atlanta at Colorado. I feel like they just were in Colorado. No, I guess not. Like a series before, or a couple series before. So we look at that, and it does appear it's going to be AJ Smith-Shawver versus Marquez. Not been confirmed yet. Marquez has been confirmed. He comes in, he's got a 9.30 ERA, back-to-back negative fantasy starts. That was not at home. We look at, he's only had 1 start at home, 5.40 ERA. Don't overthink it. I'm not looking at I would look at AJ Smith-Shawver because Colorado strikes out the most out of any team. I would look at Atlanta bats. So wait for the lineup to come out, but I'm definitely all over a Marcell Ozuna, Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, Michael Harris. You could look at a cheap option in Alex Verdugo if he gets in there. We'll definitely see. Austin Riley makes a ton of sense as well. But again, you got to remember, it's Coors, so all of your batters for Atlanta are going to be very expensive. You might not get the pitching matchup that you would want if you go with an Atlanta stack. But maybe we find some value open up later on. We've got the Angels at the Mariners next. Bryce Miller versus Kachanowicz. So Kachanowicz here, he did not face them this year. 5.47 ERA, splits, up and down. When he's on the road, it's been worse in 3 starts. He has not hit value. It's been very low for him since the first 2 starts of the game or the year. I'm probably off of Kochanowicz, but if we can look at like his strikeout line, because Seattle strikes out 5th most out of any team. Then you got Bryce Miller. The Angels strike out 2nd most out of any team. He's coming off a bad start against Boston. Little Morgan Wallen looking really good start against Cincy in Cincy. Makes no sense to me. But it's been very up and down. DFS-wise, I don't know if I trust him. He's had 1 really good start. The rest have really not hit value at all. Angels do strike out, but honestly, I'm probably off the pitching in this one. I'd probably just look at the bats, not really overthink this whatsoever. Offensively on both sides, Angels bats against Miller, like Taylor Ward batting 444 against him with a home run. So they haven't really seen him much. But against right-handed pitching this year, if I were to look at like an Angels stack, which I'm not saying I'm going to, but I also don't hate it. Jorge Soler batting 262 with 4 bombs. Mike Trout only batting 179, but has 9 bombs. It's wild. Like, I know I'm getting old when like Mike Trout is struggling. He's healthy as of now, but he's batting terribly. He's being a Kyle Schwarber this year, which is crazy to think about. Zach Neto is another one, batting 360 with 3 bombs I would look at. Logan O'Hoppe got 6 bombs. These are the bats I would look at against Bryce Miller. You could add like a Joe Adell or a Taylor Ward or Nolan Schanuel and be okay. But yeah, I don't mind a stack here for the Angels. And the Mariners against Kochanowicz, like Cal Raleigh does have a home run. I feel like I would use him, batting 250 with 6 bombs against righties this year. You got Jorge Polanco batting 356 with 7 bombs. You got Rowdy Tellez, does hit righties better, only batting 188, but huge tournament play at 4 bombs. If he starts, Dylan Moore would be a cheap value option at second. And then you've got Luke Raley that I would look at a little bit as well. Just depends on the lineup that comes out. But again, I am fading the pitching in this one. I would go with the bats. San Francisco at San Diego is next. You've got Logan Webb versus Nick Pivetta. Now, Logan Webb loves farts. If you haven't seen the interview yet, I highly recommend checking out what I'm talking about because it's pretty good. San Diego does usually they hit righties better. He's faced 145 plate appearances. Now, this is a pitcher's ballpark as well at Petco. 18.6 K percent, so it's kind of low in the strikeout percentage. The walks are low at 4.1%, and then the batting average is 465. But Logan Webb's coming in with a 198 ERA. 2 good starts there, a mediocre start against the Yankees offense, and then he's only had 1 really bad start this year. They dropped him down to 9,800, so he's in a great spot. Pitching, this will be his 5th game on the road. He's got a 3.13 ERA on the road. Doesn't have an ERA at home. Then you got Nick Pivetta. He's even better. He looks like, Google this one if you don't know who I'm talking about, but Evan from the MTV The Challenge. Tell me they don't look alike. Tell me down below they don't look alike. I don't believe you. 120 ERA. I mean, he's had 1 bad start against the Cubs, and that's it. It's wild, his numbers here, how good he's been. Now he's facing a San Francisco team that I like this matchup. I don't know if I'm looking at offense here. I'm looking at the pitching. They're right around the same price. You get a little bit of a salary relief of $300 if you go Pivetta, who is averaging more fantasy points a game. I honestly like both pitchers. It's going to be very hard to decide. Offensive-wise, through 10,000 simulations, I don't want anything to do with the offense. And then Miami at the Dodgers is the final game we're going to talk about because it's the final slate. It's the final countdown. It has not been confirmed that Sauer is the Dodgers, but he is. It looks like he's going to get called up. This is my problem with the Dodgers. We are not confirmed yet on this one. And with their injuries to all of their pitching, it's wild to say, but this is probably what we're going to expect throughout the rest of today. Like, at least this week with Tyler Glasnow going down. Obviously, Kershaw's in the minors. He's got to get called up once he gets his strength up in his arm. Like, I think we're going to see this with the Dodgers. Now, their offense is going to kill. We know that their offense normally is pretty good. But their pitching is going to be what is wild here. And then you got Sandy Alcantara. Now, he has been nothing short of disappointment all year. In his good matchups, like he's not done much. He is 7,000. He's going up against the Dodgers offense. In his career, 142 plate appearances against them with a 306 batting average. So the players that he has faced, they have hit him well. So if we look at that, Alcantara against the Dodgers. I mean, Max Muncy batting 353. Max Muncy is due for a home run, guys. He is so due. Tommy Edman batting 375 against him. You got Mookie Betts batting 462. You got Will Smith batting 417. You got Austin Barnes batting 667. There are so many batters that have had success against him. He has not looked the same. He has not pitched a really good game in a couple of years, basically. Or I don't know. I don't trust Alcantara. I would look at the Dodgers as a stack. I don't know who the pitcher is going to be for the Dodgers, so we can't 100% confirm who we'd like for Miami. There's not a ton of options in Miami that I would look at. Like Miami bats. Like overall, like Sanoa, or however you say his name, is batting 340 if he's even starting. I don't even know who that is, which is wild. Second or outfield option. Batting 340. Like, yeah, I mean, he had, very sporadic, but he would be a cheap option if he gets the start. He could be a cheap option there. Very cheap. You've got Wagaman that you could look at. You've got Kyle Stowers batting 302 this year. You've got Connor Norby. Matt Mervis seems to be hitting home runs when I don't use him. Agustin Ramirez this year has been pretty decent. I would look at him. Xavier Edwards. So honestly, I kind of like both teams as a stack there. I don't trust the pitching whatsoever. And there you have it, guys. That is the entire breakdown, the early slate and the main slate. We are now going to do all of the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 simulation. Now, depending on when you watch this video, it most likely can and will change. So make sure you check back on the website a couple hours before main slate locks. We have a decent amount. We don't have the 34 that we've had in the past. But if we look at this, as of right now, through 10,000 simulations, number 1, Aaron Judge. First, Gibson. Number 2 is Brenton Doyle. Number 3 is Austin Riley. 4 is Kyle Tucker. 5 is Ozuna. 6 is Alex Verdugo. 7 is Ozzie Albies. 8 is Ian Happ. 9 is Bryce Terang. 10 is Jose Ramirez. 11 is Spencer Steer. 12 is Wyatt Langford. 13, Sean Murphy. 14, Stephen Kwan. 15, Freddie Freeman. 16, William Contreras. 17, Christian Yelich. 18, Marcus Semien. 19, Alex Bregman. 20, Rhys Hoskins. 21, Sal Frelick. And number 22 is Jonah Heim. So right now, through 10,000 sims, we've got 22 batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating. If you want to see all of them, a couple hours before lineup lock, come down here and go to Matchup Tool. $10 for a week until Thursday, then it will change. The keyword of the day is taco, or key phrase is Taco Tuesday, because we love us some tacos. We love us some Tuesday, because it's not Monday, but it's also not Friday. So now we're going to do Pitches Be Crazy. Now, just because these are on this list does not mean I'm going to use all of them. But these are the top 5 pitchers that have matchups against teams that strike out the 5th most out of all teams. Number 1 pitcher, according to Pitches Be Crazy, AJ Smith-Shawver at Colorado. Colorado is striking out 10.59 times per game, 10.67 times at home. Number 2 is Bryce Miller versus the Angels. The Angels strike out 9.74 times per game, 9.61 on the road. Number 3 is Kyle Gibson versus the Yankees. Yankees strike out 9.43 times per game, 10.23 on the road. My problem is Kyle Gibson, we don't know how long he's going to go into the game. He's just getting called up from single A, and the Yankees offense has been pretty good. I don't trust him. I would not use him in DFS, but if you get him at like 4 strikeouts or something, if you can find a line there with positive, yeah, that's the thing though, because like we had yesterday or on Sunday, Kevin Gausman had the 3rd best chance for the Yankees, and he only got 2 strikeouts and then got shelled. I could see that exact same thing playing out in this game. That was at Yankee Stadium. This is in Baltimore. I don't care. They did bring the fence back in. Number 4 is Bowden Francis versus Boston. Boston strikes out 9.23 times per game, 9.75 on the road. And finally, Jack Kochanowicz at Seattle. Seattle strikes out 9.14 times per game, 8.88 times on the road. So reiterate, pitches be crazy. Not that I'm going to use all of these, but these are the top 5. Unless it changes. It could change. You never know. Could have someone get scratched before the game, or maybe they change it up. But you got AJ Smith-Shawver, you got Bryce Miller, you got Kyle Gibson, you got Bowden Francis, and you got Jack Kochanowicz at Seattle. So now we're going to do what we do, Makin bacon bets. So we're going to look at the batters that we like that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating that we think could get 2+ bases. We're also going to look at some pitchers as well. So I would love to know if you use these plays like other days, did you sports bet? Did you win? I need to know. I want to know. Let me know, guys. Number 1 is Austin Riley versus Marquez. Again, you're going to see Atlanta bats in this ballpark. Aaron Judge versus Kyle Gibson. Number 3 is Alex Verdugo versus Marquez. 4 is Britton Doyle versus AJ Smith-Shawver. 5 is Ozzie Albies. 6 is Marcell Ozuna. 7 is Ian Happ. 8, Bryce Turang. 9, Jose Ramirez. 10, Kyle Tucker. 11, Spencer Steer. 12, Freddie Freeman. And 13 is Stephen Kwan. So there you go. We have 13 batters that we just talked about that have great odds for 2+ bases, but also have 10 out of 10 matchup ratings. And then we look at the strikeout. Kind of look at the lines. The top 5 I'm looking at for strikeouts today, not necessarily this one, but ones that have good odds. So it's not only the matchup, but it's the odds that they get as well. Mackenzie Gore versus Philly. I'm looking about 8+ strikeouts. You could tease that down to like 6 or 7. Logan Webb for 6+ strikeouts. Zach Wheeler for 6+ strikeouts. Bryce Miller for 6+ strikeouts. And Carlos Rodon for 7+ strikeouts. So again, that's Mackenzie Gore, Logan Webb, Zach Wheeler, Bryce Miller, and Carlos Rodon. So that is what I've got for this video. We broke down your entire Tuesday slate. We looked at DFS. We looked at Makin bacon. We looked at pitchers. We looked at matchup tool. We looked at some of them. If you want to see all of them, you want to get in on the action. FTA plus $10 for the week until Thursday. You get all these sports, except NFL, because it's not NFL. But when we get to NFL, oh, let's go, buddy. But you've got everything: PGA, MMA, NASCAR, NBA. We're going to start winding down NBA with 2-game slates. Not my favorite time with the NBA. So if we look at NBA real quick, just kind of looking at, we might be winding NBA down. Because if it's just 2 games every other night, there's really no point. And some of these, yeah, like, so we do have 4-game slate for today, 3-game slate if 3 games if necessary for Wednesday. Kind of the same thing Thursday, kind of the same thing Friday and Saturday. So it'll all just depend on how the games go the rest of the way. We'll just kind of see. We'll still put stuff out on the website. I don't know if we'll have